Hello and welcome to another episode of Power On Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Taylor, and with me is the powerful, the pleasurable,
Oh,
the pious,
oh, the
Sushi B. How you
pervert.
doing? Perverted, the perverted Sushi B. How you doing there, Mr. Sushi B?
Not bad on this fine evening. And how are you?
You can probably tell, maybe. I at least hope, but you have a very, very, very clogged sinus. Thank you. Hay fever and allergies of the spring
Nice.
time kind of fair. Yeah, it's always a fun time this time of
Yeah,
year.
a pleasant experience.
Yeah. I think I've blown away about a pound of snot. So get that image in your head.
Oh,
Yeah. I
I
hope you
saw
weren't
that.
eating.
Look at
No, it was pretty gross. Like I have the thing of a box of tissues in my car.
mm,
While driving, I'll blow my nose, and I'm kind of
mm.
like, this is, it's
Are you
not
flicking the
dangerous.
tissues out the window as you're driving?
I should just stick my head out and just blow really hard to see how like one of those like how the old 80s movies with the bullies, they do the little spit drop thing and kind of
Right.
suck it back kind of thing. I see how
Mm,
far I could get the snot trail to go before it kind of lets loose.
mm.
Maybe I can get it in Guinness or something.
Yeah, maybe you can see how far it goes. Yeah, down to the road as you're driving before it hits the ground.
Or that yeah. I mean Guinness could
But
be.
it'd probably be flapping off and like flying off into the back car, or some poor motorcycle guy that's trying to pass you.
It's-
Those crazy dudes, right?
or just imagine
Little just
the
desserts.
Vespas or something. But
There you
no,
go.
just
Some just desserts.
oh man, just thinking about that, or like kids walking past or on their bikes or something trying to go to school, and all of a sudden just getting like plastered by a, a fucking renegade snot trail kind of thing.
Soft blast.
Snot. Oh man. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. And sorry, should have brought you in there sooner there. But also with is we'll see here.
Studley.
Is the Studley. The Studley, the stupefyingly Studley, the superior Studley. Super duper. It's late, guys. We're recording this one kind of late, so
Yeah.
if we're a little goofy, a little stupid. Sorry. But yeah, anywho, yes, back to the intro. Anywho, with Sushi P and I is RPG Studman. How you doing?
I should stop wearing those stud leather jackets. It's too much studness.
Yeah.
I could be studded.
Oh god.
For some odd
Sexually
reason,
stud-tastic.
for some odd reason, I just had an image before we talked about the poor innocent child that got, hit by the mucus-filled
Booger bomb?
projectile. I could see him going back home and imitating Bill Murray from Ghostbusters. I got slimed.
Oh, shit.
He said, no, he slimed me. That's it.
Goodness.
Yeah. It sucks to hear about your hay fever in this time of spring. It's autumn here in the land down under. So
Does it say is it finally cooling down over there and not like the infernos of hell kind of thing?
yeah, it's pretty basic weather now, which is pretty good. But because of our weather pattern, it's just so hectic. 1 hour will be raining, and then next hour will be sunshine. It's just all over the place.
Schizo weather.
Yeah, absolutely. It always happens around this time.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a few places where people will kind of always think of their weather as very schizo. I know Ohio, it's very kind of like it'll be nice. It'll be very, 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 very cold. But not like Arctic cold, but still pretty frigid.
Funny enough, I did see a picture where it was articled. Someone posted a picture. I can't remember what state it was, but it looked like it was sunshine and beaches, and then the next day it was pretty much a blizzard.
That's actually a lot. I mean, I think that's part of the issue. I know we're not getting into that for a topic, but I think it's part of the issue with like the whole global warming thing is that you have this sporadic, crazy climate just kind of going on like just going, oh my god, I'm trying to figure things out. You've ruined me, kind of thing. That's what Earth's screaming at us right now.
It's Phantasy Star 2 all over again.
It is. Climate control's out of control.
Gotta fix it. Gotta fix the ship, kind of thing. And we're not doing a good job.
Don't trust the system.
But we're not getting into that this time. Instead, we're going to be talking about something like when it's kind of brought up to me for doing this topic. The very first thing I thought of is that wonderful classic song by Stevie Wonder.
Of course.
Of course, it is because this whatever just that freaking word, you just think of just the first two words from that you get the very superstitious. I'm not Stevie Wonder, so don't ever.
The man's a musical genius.
And
so.
I am freaking I'm not very audible at all at this point. But no, we're going to be talking about superstitions, and this is this is a very weird kind of. Weird's not a right word I want to say for it because that's not appropriate, but it's just a very different kind of thing. Superstitions are personal. They can be just locked to a family. They can be locked to a region kind of thing. It's especially if you don't think about it. If you're not consciously aware of it, you might not even realize that some of the things that you either do or say are kind of influenced by superstitions. Right. You could just be kind of like, that's just how I am, fuck all y'all, and good day, kind of thing. So I'm going to come out and say this. I personally do not have superstitions. I like to read up on some of them, and then kind of I'll follow them once, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, and then go on my merry way, and then kind of forget it after that. I'm not like, I gotta be doing this all the time. I can't, black cat, Jesus Christ, kind of. That's always a very stereotypical one to bring up. Black cats walking, crossing your path, meow meow. When I was a kid, we had 2 black cats, so oops, oops to that one, kind of thing. So, but I don't know. How about you guys there? Are you very superstitious?
Growing up with an Aussie family, practical jokes comes with the nature. And with my dad, when I was really young, he would use superstition to fuel his practical jokes. Some actually took years to shake off. Not many, but the one that was really hardest to shake off was, I think one day I spilled some salt on the ground, and he went into the spiel about the superstition, what happens if you spill salt on the ground and what you need to do. Basically, if you haven't heard this before, if you spill salt, you're supposed to take a pinch from your right hand and throw it over your left shoulder, and it's supposed to ward off evil spirits. And I'm like, yeah, that's one of the more fantastical ones. I actually looked into where it originated from, and it's rooted in Christianity, I've heard. There's some people that interpreted that Judas spilled salt at the Last Supper or some crap, and others say, if you don't do it, you get attacked by demons. And I'm just like, well, that's a pretty elaborate superstition. If it is true, I've been warding off demons like a motherfucker.
I was gonna say that one is a one that I remember as a kid being like really confused by. I was like, what is the deal with this? And in some movies and shows, I know they bring it up as a point of trying to be like comical, where you throw it and there's actually somebody behind you, and they're like, funny, kind of thing and stuff. But it's just, it's definitely, there's a lot of superstitions out there. That was always one that was like, as a child, I was just befuddled by it. I never followed that. I spilled shit all the time. And I was just like, whatever, salt everywhere, ha 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 ha, kind of thing. I never, that's right, demons, I'm saying it right now. I never did that. I never threw it over my shoulder. Bring it on, kind of thing. So,
Taylor's going to wake up tomorrow with Rosemary's Baby.
But how about yourself there, Mr. Sushi?
Well, you brought up black cats, and I think in the infamous words of comedian Groucho Marx, he pretty much sums up my sort of feeling with superstitions, in that if a black cat is crossing your path, it signifies that the animal is going somewhere. So pretty much, I really like acknowledging them and learning about them and hearing about them from different cultures and countries and just different people in general. But I don't really personally follow them at all. They're very interesting, though. I kind of mentioned this topic to you, Taylor, just sort of in passing even, and you seem to kind of jump at it. So I think it'll be an interesting topic, though, today. I've kind of gone through some of the, I guess, quote-unquote classic ones that a lot of people are aware of, and I thought maybe we can sort of break them down a little bit and try to figure them out and stuff like that. So
okay, yeah, and I will say this: some of the well, not some, but it seems like a lot of the superstitions from way back in the Disney, they seemed to reflect that how, I mean, we as we are today, and probably a lot of people that are listening to this now, they probably do not have as much of an experience with a lot of people dying around them, and I mean, and that's where a lot of the superstitions, a lot of it can be, you could do something mundane as hell, and it's like, well, somebody's gonna be dying soon, because they wanted to kind of put the blame somewhere for why are all these people broken
for death,
right? I mean, because they were just
the Black
surrounded
Death,
by,
and
yeah. So I mean, it's very, when you kind of see that sort of thing, it's yeah.
I also am the stern belief that a lot of these superstitions were created to help children, like unruly children. Like there's a couple I'll cover, and it just seems common sense to do these things. But there's superstitions that are sort of created to join to this. I'm guessing to teach the younger generation, or just the young culture, just how to do things. So I'll bring some of them up.
Well, for example, like what?
Well, one of them, of course, which I kind of do as well, a lot of people do in Australia, don't go undercover with an umbrella.
I'm sorry?
Have you ever heard that one?
Are you talking about like going into a house or something?
Something?
Yeah, going into a house or undercover while wearing an umbrella brings bad luck.
Not like, because in America we have it if you open an umbrella inside.
Open umbrella,
yeah.
Oh no, it's just
almost the same.
It's similar.
Yeah, well, it's just it's an offshoot of that. So you'll see a lot of people when they go undercover, they'll put like their umbrellas to the side until they go up against the rain again, and then put it back up.
Now here's actually a question, because I've never been down under. How many people actually use umbrellas?
Everyone.
Okay.
Because if you don't, you're swimming.
Well, you see people in some people in the States don't use umbrellas sometimes. They're just like, I'm super tough. I'll just use a hoodie. And you're like,
I never really did when I lived back home. I just was like, whatever. But now I do. The damn acid rain.
Well, actually, that's one that I guess kind of bringing into that rain bit. Unless you wanted to add something to that there, because that is a very common one, is that opening umbrellas inside, or have like kind of bringing them undercover, brings bad luck.
I think in China, if you do that, isn't it supposed to signify death or something?
I would not be surprised.
I forget.
But
I know in Korea, people just open their umbrellas. It's nothing. It means nothing.
Oh yeah, they do.
It's no big deal.
Too, yeah,
it's nothing.
So
maybe I'm wrong about China. Maybe something else, maybe.
But is there something else you want to add to that, Greg? Because there was something I wanted to take a tangent with.
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, well, there's with the rain, they actually have it, if you are rained on during the summertime, if you don't have any sort of umbrella kind of thing, in Japan they kind of see that as a sign that you're going to go bald. That's
very specific.
Yeah, like getting drizzled on kind of thing, and that was that was
acid rain again.
It's that acidic rain kind of thing. Yeah, that's what one of my exes said. So I don't know if she was just trying to like poke fun at me because I didn't have an umbrella at the time. She's like, when she said it, but I made a certain point after that to look as much of a jackass as possible and carry a backpack at the time because it was traveling. I wasn't staying here at the time. So I had a backpack, and I put my umbrella. I bought an umbrella, and I put it between my back and the backpack, so I looked like the giantest tool in the tool shed kind of thing. I looked like a complete jackass with it, but it got her to stop saying that I was gonna, go bald from it raining on me from that. So, but I don't know if you know of anything else that's kind of similar to that or. No.
Specifically the umbrellas, or
well, like raining kind of thing. Like if it rains on you, if there's some. No.
Maybe. Nothing's coming to mind exactly, but.
Okay.
That's very specific.
Yeah, it's like I think she might have just been kind of joshing me, for lack of a better word, but yeah. So. I was going to say, yeah. Did you want to carry on there with some of the other ones that you were going to mention there, Greg?
I just wanted to quickly dive into good luck superstitions because there is quite a few. Like the good old one is your lucky rabbit's foot. Brings you good luck. One of the biggest ones as a kid is 4-leaf clovers are good luck. However, 5-leaf clovers are bad luck. So
I didn't know that about the 5. That's.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's a bit weird.
Are they even less common, I presume, though, right?
Yeah, they are. Because, clovers go all over Australia, and 3's common, 4, is uncommon, and 5 is even more uncommon. So, what's the other one? Yeah, I know the classic one that if this were true, there would be a lot more millionaires in the world, and there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. You've got people with metal detectors. You have people with rainbow detectors. Okay, when's the rainbow coming? Over there.
But that's the thing, though. If they could find that sort of thing, wouldn't that kind of just sort of law of averages balance everything out to where they would just kind of be at the same point again? Because you've oversaturated the market with gold, you bunch of assholes. What have you done? My stock in gold has gone down thanks to you finding all that pot of gold. So,
exactly.
Well, you're gonna have a lot of angry leprechauns.
Yes. And a lot of these superstitions hail back from Ireland.
Well, yeah, I think this is also kind of juxtaposed with just how you're surrounded by death at the time, so it's like we need certain things to happen. Like maybe something lucky did happen with the one dude or one chick who found a 4-leaf clover, and the next day had something amazing happen to him, and they're like, "Holy Jesus, I found this."
They didn't die.
Right. They didn't die for one. That they're already lucky there.
Yeah, the question is where's the instance where some guy had a dead, rotting rabbit's foot and just got lucky? It's like, oh, my lucky rabbit's foot.
Maybe he got kidnapped and he ran away, and all he had to eat was the rabbit, and he got full from the rabbit except for this one foot, and he just kept it because he's like, man, that was a good rabbit. I have no clue.
That's plausible.
I mean, it's just, it's a bit morbid to kind of think about. It's like it's kind of like here are some plant genitalia for Valentine's Day, aka roses. it's kind of thing. So it's just like, we're weird species. But I was going to say, Sushi, do you have some there you want to kind of throw out there?
There's quite a few, obviously. I was just looking at some of the Korean ones that I'm not particularly familiar with. I've heard of a couple of them. Education's a big deal here, so there's one that's pertaining to there's this big entrance exam that the kids have to do for university, and it's like a huge deal. And one of the superstitions is they're not supposed to eat like seaweed soup before that. Seaweed soup is usually eaten for birthdays, like on your birthday, and it's supposed to mean that you actually move a year ahead. And I guess if you eat that on the exam day or just prior to the exam or something, you'll lose like all your brain power or something, and you won't be able to. You'll fail the test, kind of thing. So it's kind of an interesting one.
Huh.
Bit weird, but I heard about this one. I think this is a couple of places have this about the like cutting fingernails and toenails at night. I don't know if this is Japan, but I think China and Korea. If you cut your fingernails at night,
India, I think might.
Maybe cutting your fingernails at night causes evil spirits to come and like collect them or something. Something to that effect, or I think there's also...
what's the harm in that? They're doing you good.
They're coming to steal your soul, though, right? Like through your fingernails.
Well, then...
They're collecting a piece of you, kind of thing.
Lovely.
Yeah, they're not just there to give you a high five and, and a back rub.
Collect. Well, if they're just collecting the red,
a nice manicure. I don't think they're just cleaning up your trash.
Yeah, that'd be...
Yeah, I don't think that's what they're there for. But I think, the idea is that they come and they try to steal your soul kind of thing through these clippings. So it's kind of interesting. Trying to think of what others. Oh, I think this one is common in Japan, China, and Korea, and that's the whistling at night. Not only in these three countries, I think of quite a few countries. Whistling at night also causes like evil spirits to come and kind of try to, once again, steal your soul kind of thing. I don't know where that would come from, though. Like, what's the...
Probably from getting your ass beat for whistling at night, kind of.
That could be part of it, sure.
Who does that? I mean, who goes around going... Really? At night? Really? That's an open invitation to, like, some drunkard to be like, "Hi! How you doing?"
I love the pause. I had to think about it for a second. How you doing?
I got it. Well, I mean, it just seems like I could see that being very, like, don't do it because you're going to piss somebody off kind of thing. Like, kind of how Greg was saying, some of these things are to keep kids from misbehaving. This is probably a little older. Don't be whistling at night. Don't do that.
The one that I was more harping to is don't walk under an umbrella was bring you bad luck. I think they meant to say that because you shouldn't walk under a fucking umbrella. A ladder.
Oh, right, yeah.
Walking under an umbrella.
Ladder.
There'd be a lot of dead people.
No, just don't walk under a ladder because it's a friggin' ladder. Things happen. People fall,
That one actually has historical connotation. That one's about the gallows. Because the guys used to climb on the ladders to pull down the dead body, so they thought that that's actually really bad luck for anyone who goes under the ladder. But I see what you mean too, Greg. Like, of course, like a hammer is going to smoke you on the head or something. But that one's actually got a really interesting backstory, though, like historically.
It's a pretty grim one there.
Well, yeah, it's really
talking about the good old gallows.
Right. That would be a pretty rough job.
Doing it or cleaning up?
Yeah, being the person that actually had to take down the bodies and stuff.
Yeah.
Bring out your dad.
Greg's the Undertaker measuring the bodies for the boxes. In the old Western movies, the dude always in the black clothes.
The wagon. I thought we'd go in medieval times. It's a wagon.
Back,
they don't care about individual
wagon.
They don't care about individuality. In with the others.
In with a lot of
us. One of us.
Oh, goodness.
I like the latter one. I think that's a really interesting one.
One of the most obscure ones, and this would probably be right up there with Taylor's baldness. Apparently, if you put an acorn by a window, it's supposed to keep lightning off the property or ward lightning. I'm like, what? I actually found this out today. I'm like, that's fantastic.
That's weird.
That's some wizard level shit right there.
Wizard acorn protect my house from lightning.
So your house will be protected from lightning, but what about the army of squirrels that's going to ravage your home?
Exactly.
That is bizarre. Did you find anything else about that at all? Or
I want to though.
That is what? That's out there. Like, for example, when because some people still use this nowadays. A very common phrase, "knock on wood."
Yeah.
that comes from kind of the old, kind of the quote-unquote medieval ages and stuff, when people believed that there were spirits and stuff that lived in the trees, in certain trees. So you would knock on certain trees. Of course, you wouldn't just knock willy-nilly on every tree, because some of those spirits are a bunch of assholes, and some of them. So you would knock on specific trees for good luck, kind of thing. And that's where knock on wood came from. But this acorn thing and lightning, unless somebody was like the anti-Benjamin Franklin and use an acorn shield I'm confused where that would go. Deflecting lightning with his acorn shield.
No. Greg's going to be fighting off Zeus. I'll back thee, Zeus, from my treacherous acorn. That is a pretty bizarre one. That's I've never heard of that one. But I'm gonna make up stuff from now on. I'm just gonna tell people stuff like dead rats keep you healthy, or something stupid. Dead rats have more vitamin C than an orange or something.
That's
start making up some pretty bizarre ones. I mean, most of these are pretty bizarre as it is, partly because of today with the amount of information that we can get. We are able to sort of break these things down a little more scientifically. So we do laugh at them, but that's what I said I like about analyzing them. I don't think that it's I don't find them like just completely throwaway pieces of culture or information, because there's obviously a story behind them and why they exist. The acorn one would be quite interesting, I presume, if that one. I mean, where's this supposed to be from, Greg? Did you at least find out? Like, is it from a specific region of the world or something, or?
Not yet. It's just a common. I just found a website for common superstitions.
Common superstitions.
I didn't hear that. I've never heard that one.
And it's just like, it's just common superstitions. Like, I never heard that. So,
like, it's because as you say, it would be. It's very interesting just to kind of see as a culture standpoint of what was the thought process that went behind people kind of coming around to thinking something like that. Like,
right. I'm trying to think of where that might actually apply, and like you think about
logistics of everything.
That wouldn't apply at all, probably. Or, I mean, it could be England or somewhere in Europe. It sounds like that could be possible. It could be North American. It's hard to say, but just where does that actually originate from would be interesting to break down.
Like,
what about this one? Have you guys heard of? Oh, go ahead.
No. By all means.
Scientifically speaking, we have figured out that carrots are actually quite good for our eyes, but that was kind of a superstition for a long time. Like, eating lots of carrots, you'll have 20/20 vision or whatever. You have very excellent eyesight. But I was reading into that one. Supposedly, that one started in World War II. British soldiers, the Air Force, they were supposedly were saying that they were eating lots of carrots to improve their eyesight in battle and stuff, but this was actually just a cover-up for the fact that they were starting to use targeting systems and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if this was to throw off the Germans so the Germans would start stocking up on carrots or something. And
I'm confused as how that worked. Eat your vegetables because these make us amazing. Like eat nutritional food.
Yeah, but this trickled down to what Greg had said about kids, right? And parents were like, "Oh, you have to eat the carrots; it'll make your eyes good." So that one trickled into this parental superstition, which is really interesting.
Well, but why would you tell the enemy that?
So that they would reduce their stock of carrots or something? I don't know. Maybe so that they wouldn't try to replicate your technology. I don't know. It could be some reason, I suppose, but
some double think going on there. That's
I mean, just think in the 40s and 50s, people were probably still somewhat superstitious about things, I suppose.
I'd say they'd probably fairly superstitious. I mean, even nowadays, like that. It really just depends on the people in general. I mean, we probably have our own kind of quirks about us that we don't realize are maybe not a common superstition, but perceived by somebody else is would be something considered superstitious, and it's
Right.
uh,
Almighty Acorn.
so, well, like for example, this is something I don't know where the hell she got this from. God bless her, my mom. She puts up a mirror at that reflects the front door because
Wait, over the front door?
not over it, but reflecting the front door, so that
From
there's
the inside of the house, then.
right.
Okay.
So when you walk in, there's a mirror. You can see like a mirror, and she says that keeps out demons, kind of thing. And she believes this, and I'm like, whatever. That's cool. That's.
Taylor doesn't see this gnarly looking thing walks by his house.
Yeah.
He's like growling at you and snapping.
And I'm just kind of but like I don't know where she got that from. I don't know if that was one, like, and it actually just kind of came to my head there, and it's I mean, you have plenty of superstitions still nowadays, and I mean they're morphing in their own kind of ways with the wonderful thing that we call the internet, and trust me, I'm using wonderful in the loosest of context.
Maybe she saw A&E on a Sunday morning. A&E and History Channel used to show they used to show all kinds of those kind of shows about superstitions or mythical creatures and aliens. Those kind of shows were always on in the morning. Maybe she saw something on there, and maybe that sort of influenced her to think about that kind of thing.
Possibly. But she's not a morning person, so...
No. Maybe it was on late at night. I don't know.
I don't know. So, but yeah, it's just one of those that kind of came to mind there. I mean,
mirrors are a funky one though. Mirrors are pretty relevant in a lot of places.
Because they're
as you said,
creepy.
Well, they're creepy, but as you said, most people seem to have a connotation with demons or like really evil spirits and mirrors. I think if I remember, the Chinese put a mirror over their doors from the outside for some reason, probably for the same thing like how your mom, or at least what your mom believed about the mirror inside. I think it's this kind of same idea, and they like put the incense and stuff out there. Yeah, mirrors are weird, right? Mirrors are a pretty strange superstition that some people probably still hold.
Well, I mean, it probably has something to do with us as just kind of as being human, because isn't there something where there's something in our brain that keeps us from going like batshit insane when we see reflections of ourselves? Like I could have swore I've read somewhere where there's some sort of thing in our brain that kind of goes off, and it's like,
so you don't have like a mental breakdown.
Right. Don't go bonkers because
don't freak.
Right. Don't just go ape shit because you're seeing a reflection of yourself, kind of thing. Because I mean that is I know that sounds mundane as hell.
A synapses trigger of some kind.
Right. And I know it sounds really mundane, but it's like that is a very odd thing to be able to consciously like kind of perceive what you look like.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can look at yourself, but you can't really identify exactly all the kind of details about yourself until you look into a reflection, and that.
Right.
So, but I don't know. I mean, you have of course the classic break a mirror, 7 years bad luck kind of thing.
Back to Stevie Wonder.
But
well, isn't that one sort of connected with the evil spirit thing too, right? Like something about the idea that we look in a mirror and a part of us is left in the mirror. So if the mirror gets broken, it becomes corrupted on the other side of the mirror, kind of thing.
Right.
And that's why you have bad luck for 7 years. I don't know why specifically 7, but 7's a pretty superstitious number. There's quite a few, right? 4, 7, 13.
4 is because in Japanese,
4 is death.
Right. It's connected. It has the kind of Japanese has it too. I know,
but it comes from
the Chinese character. I know that, but I'm speaking from the Japanese
Koreans
standpoint.
Do that as well. The same sort of superstition with that.
Yeah, and so like they won't build. It was when they build hospitals and stuff. They won't have any of the sick ward on the 4th floor. They shove them up to the 5th and 6th and stuff. And 9 has bit of stigma as well because 9 is kind of like the sickness and stuff. So, so 4 and 9 are kind of the bad numbers in Japanese, Chinese, Korean. Is it 4 and 9 as well, or?
I don't know about the 9, but definitely the 4. Just similar because of where it comes from, the Chinese number 4, right? I think there was a horror movie that came out here some time ago, and somebody who is really into film will probably know this. There was a horror movie, I think, that the horror movie, a Korean movie, was something like this apartment, and there was no 4th floor that the elevator would stop at. But then in this film, somebody was taking the stairs for something. The elevator was broken, but as they were passing through the stairs, they were like encountering these demons or something, like in between the 3rd and 5th floors. They're walking down the stairs in some sort of horror film. But I thought, just when I read that, I was like, oh, that's kind of a clever idea to go with that 4 sort of superstition.
I would say with Australia there, outside of the unlucky 13, are there any kind of bad numbers?
You pretty much just said it there. The 13 superstitions sort of crossed the sea into Australia, basically. And it's brought up by different cultures, different media, and just through the people, through school. 13's always been unlucky.
Which I mean, yeah, for a date, but then like you have a baker's dozen. 13's quite wonderful because you get that one all for yourself kind of thing. So
that only comes back from those damn bakers trying to skim out. That's where that comes. Trying to skim out on those loaves. They were giving out 12 and they were skimming back, and like, I'll just throw in the crap part and say it's the 13th.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a whole nother thing, but I mean,
right.
But I mean, that's one way to look at it is you have 13 as a date. You're like, oh, this is bad, or 13. Usually when it's like when it's a number of something, like, oh, I have 13 pencils. You don't go, Jesus Christ, you've got 13 pencils.
Yeah, it's not usually bad.
It's just usually Friday the 13th.
Right. And does that 13 come from the idea of Judas?
Yeah, it's to do with the
strange. That's where, like, oh, the 13th disciple was evil.
Yeah. And another position linked to demons and all sorts of stuff. So.
Goodness.
Getting back to the mirror thing quickly. I don't know if you guys are aware of that one. The sort of game, if you will, the superstitious game of Bloody Mary.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
Like going in the bathroom. And this was pretty popular when I was in elementary, going in either the boys' or girls' bathroom and, pushing a kid and turn off the light, and then you tell them they have to say it. Was it 3 times, right?
I believe so.
Did you have to turn when you're in there? I don't remember if you had to. Were you just looking at the mirror? You had to turn around and say it 3 times? Is that right?
And then turn to the mirror or something?
And then turn to the mirror, right? Like turn 1, say it as you face the mirror. Turn 2, say it as you face the mirror. And then 3rd time, the spirit was supposed to appear. And, as kids would always run out screaming and say, I saw it. Who knows? Maybe they did see it.
No, that's just imagination spooking kids out because they're just kind of like, I want to get out of here. It's dark. Kind of thing. So
kids are always jerks too. Somebody was in the toilet and they would turn off the light and be like, do it. And you were like, I'm in the toilet. Like, I'm trying to poop here. And, kids would turn off the light on you. And I remember being pretty young and somebody turned off the light. I don't know if it was purposely or not. I presume purposely. And being like really terrified, like to leave the bathroom. Like I was terrified to come out of the stall kind of thing. I don't remember how young I was, but pretty young. Maybe like grade 1 or 2 only. So, but yeah, that was a big thing, the Bloody Mary thing for sure. Did you guys ever try that, or?
It was talked about in primary school. The turning was the biggest aspect that they would always emphasize.
Just makes you disillusioned, right? So that's probably where part of the extra fear comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never tried it myself, so I just.
Strangely though, it's kind of like how it works with how we did it is they tell you to do it at your house though. It's like you better do it tonight, otherwise you're gonna.
We're gonna get the CCTV evidence if you didn't do it.
Then no one cared. They just wanted to scare the shit out of the person, right. And my primary school was just full of fucking awful, horrid people. So not exactly one of the nicest places. So
I don't know. I kind of had something similar with some of the kids at like primary and middle school and stuff, and they like I met some of them as they gotten older and stuff, and they've it's interesting to see how they go from being rotten little monsters to civil human beings kind of thing. So
yeah, about that. Usually the better man would just usually laugh and walk away. But unfortunately, I had too many people do awful shit to me, so I'm like, yeah, goodbye. If it's like, yeah, I'm changed, I'm sure you have.
Greg
Get lost.
feel the wrath of my acorns.
Acorn wrath.
Lightning
Bouncing
They
lightning
burst
off
into
of it.
flames as lightning bolt strikes them.
Oh,
Greg, high five Zeus.
tag team play.
Actually, it's funny. The reason why I joked and says wizard level shit is because a lot of media, a lot of movies, there's a lot of wizard-related movies where they use acorns to perform spells and all that. So I'm like, there has to be some link to magic or arcane powers or something. I'm putting my betting on that. But here's a funny one to get you laughing because I read about this today and I don't know, it just gave me a good chuckle. And probably responsible for all those 90s animal-based Christmas movies. Apparently, on midnight Christmas Eve, animals across the globe have the ability to talk.
Wait, what? Hey, what?
Hey, what's up, Ricky the rodent?
Oh man, we're keeping it in
For how long, Greg? Like
for 300
a fraction of a microsecond or something?
Bark out of bark doesn't count there. So I'm confused. Like what? That's so.
It'd be good to see all those rough dogs that bark at everything, and then that night when it hits midnight, they speak like Niles and Frasier.
This is how think of like demented that would be if all animals across the globe for X amount of time, whatever, a minute or whatever, could talk to the point where you would understand. And they're slaughtering each other for food, kind of thing. You're just kind of like, that would be horrific. You just hear screams for help, and they would go unanswered.
I think it's also symbolical because that's how Santa's sleigh becomes GPS. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. He starts them off, and then midnight, Rudolph can talk to him back.
Yeah, I guess that could work.
You are turning right.
That is a weird one. I wonder what mind that sprung forth from.
I don't know why, but like I said, the smiling joke.
Yeah.
That's where all the 80s and 90s animal-based Christmas movies come from. Oh, jeez. I heard that one today and it's just like, are you for real? The other Christmas one that I think is, I don't know, it shouldn't be a superstition, it's just you're missing out, is if you refuse a kiss under the mistletoe, it causes bad luck. I don't care if it causes bad luck, you just turn down a kiss.
I'm trying to think, I remember reading up on that because I was going to explain it to some of my students once. I wish I could remember. It has something to do with... fuck. I did know at one point, but it did have something to do with kind of... something. The end.
I mean, the only time where it'd probably be feasible is if some drunken jackass guy tries to kiss you and you're just like, no thanks, I'll take the bad luck. Oh, shit.
Looks like Greg does not have all of his windows of opportunity opened.
Oh man, you know what's funny? No one does the mistletoe thing in where I live. Well, not around my circles. It's more of an American tradition.
Well, that comes from European. That initially was a European kind of thing. But I'm trying to remember why.
Is Greg a little down on his luck? Is it?
I
Yeah.
say, I don't know if you want to resort to the mistletoe for that kind of thing, because it just seems like, kind of like trying to almost like one of those kind of
Desperate.
Yeah.
desperate.
Hey!
Like,
those guys who carry mistletoe in their hands.
oh yeah.
I
Or
wonder
no,
what
Greg
that
will make it really elaborate. He'll have like a stand that goes behind his head and like dangles over.
I have some. This cloud, thank you very much. I always say to those people who
Except his will be an acorn.
I always say to those people that hold mistletoe in their hands, like, where's that hand been?
Oh man.
No, I think the strains are not as gullible, for that.
Well, like I honestly, I have never had that happen before, really. Like, I mean, it was always kind of tongue in cheek. Oh, it's there's a kiss and something, but nobody just stands there waiting. And then
Right.
the asshole that does usually
gets knocked out.
usually gets ignored, kind of thing. You're like, I'll think I'll pass, kind of thing. It's just.
Yeah. All self-respecting people. If there's a guy who likes a girl, they just come out and say they like him, not resorting to berries and leaves for that one day of the year.
Wicked berries.
How did you know my concoction for my love potion there, Craig? My berries and leaves love potion. Oh man. But I mean, like, it's something that, with that in mind, we probably should bring up is the kind of the star charts and stuff. Because would you consider that superstitious kind of thing?
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, to a degree, I suppose, right? I mean, the what is it? The Chinese zodiac and the
Fate
astrology.
Fate is written in the stars. Can I say something? Not so much if I believe in it. I actually think that's awesome. There's just something cool about that. You'll see your fate written in the stars, and like that's something that I'd write.
It's the there's kind of a little twist to that where I think it's there's like a what is it? It's referring to, like, don't put the blame on fate. What is it, like, dear Brutus? The fault is not in our stars but in ourselves, kind of.
Yeah.
So that's
Et tu, Brutus.
so yeah. It's kind of. I mean, it's a little. I know it's not quite superstitious per se, but I mean it is a kind of sort of question mark. So,
It's just for fun. I mean, I once in a while, I'm not recently, but once in a while I used to look at them and stuff, and it was amusing to be like, yeah, that's pretty spot on. But I mean, there's such broad paintbrush sweeps that it's like, well, yeah, I guess. Like, I think you almost sort of fool yourself into some of them sometimes because you believe what's on the paper because you think, oh, sometimes this occurs, so that means, yeah, oh, they nailed it, they got me.
It's just it's the Mulder poster. I want to believe, kind of thing.
But that be said, though, there are some things where I've looked at that and I'm like, wow, that's pretty true. Like generally speaking, a pretty stubborn person, and like if I look at it and it says stubborn, I'm like, oh, that's pretty true for me. But like I forget which one it was. I was looking at one of these books long time ago, and it had the it was trying to label the physical characteristics of each person, generally speaking, in that sign.
Uh-huh.
And this was the astrology, not the Chinese zodiac. And I was looking at it, and it's like short and stocky. No. And it was just like everything about it was completely wrong. I was completely wrong.
Well, then they try
I'm
to
just shaking my head.
Sometimes they try to cover their bases because if they're like, well, if you're close to one of the other signs, because I'm July 19th, so I fall into Cancer, but I'm borderline.
Oh, that's one of those. The 20th is the changeover, right? 20th or 21st is usually the changeovers.
So, is it or
something like that?
Yeah, and because there used to be more. Oops, we kind of left some out, guys, kind of thing. Yeah, oops. Don't care for those other star constellations anymore. Sorry,
Sirius.
but
Orion got the boot.
And so yeah,
Just not cool enough, Orion.
right. And so maybe are you close to one of those, or because sometimes they're
Not-
like, oh, well, the
not really.
borderline kind of thing, and you're just like
I'm more so in the middle. Well, a little off of
Yeah.
the middle, but still.
close to the middle.
But like I said, some of the other supposed qualities fit fairly well for me. But I like the Chinese zodiac stuff. I think that stuff's pretty interesting as well.
Yeah.
That stuff I found. Well, I can't really, I guess, claim that either of the supposed signs for myself are closer than the other. But I would suppose the Chinese zodiac is closer for me.
Ooh. What is your sign for the Chinese?
The dog.
Dog? He's a dog?
Like, what is it? Like, the dog is fairly lazy but loyal kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, that stuff sort of fits my pattern. And like, suppose the stuff like the home is a bit messy, but like very welcoming and comfortable. Like it's very simple type homestead and stuff. I was like, oh, this stuff more or less sort of fits my personality. But how about yourselves?
Let's see. Go for it, Greg. The use.
Oh, I keep forgetting which ones. I think
What
mine's
year were
the
you
Ox.
born?
No, because there's one it was confusing. It was either the dragon or the ox, and I think I'm the ox.
Okay.
Is it ox? People are not social or party animals. That actually is quite true. That is very true. I wouldn't say I'm the party pooper, but I always kind of. Yeah, actually, no, I am the party pooper.
That's a great
Do you
term
actually
for that
poop
too.
at parties?
You gotta go. You gotta go. No, it's just once in a while is okay, but I just had friends every week, and it's just like every week. I don't care what you're doing. We gotta go out. And I'm just like, no, I'm kind of quite comfy here with my PlayStation 1 and
So Greg's friends fit the Aussie stereotype, basically.
yeah, no, they did. Some even worse, and just like, oh, I'm having something good going here, And then they said at the end, it's like, we always think we're
Her
in
name
your
is
way.
PlayStation. I'm
It's
dating
funny.
her sister, Final Fantasy IX.
Oh, dude.
I've got her on my memory stick.
Wow. That's bad.
I think
Sort of. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Greg.
I think in my late 20s I was a bit more outgoing, but then again, if we're like, it got to the point that I'd be going out to the same club, and I'm just like, you know what, just maybe once every in a month I can just stay at home and do my own thing, and then just eventually I just got bored of the whole scene, And thankfully, when you're getting on to 30, no one gives a shit because they expect you to grow out of it by then anyway.
What was the name of the club, Greg?
Oh, where I went? Oh, nothing.
Yeah,
So
where
it's
they were going.
240V.
It's called 240V.
Yeah. And no, the reason why I went there is because I used to fire 12, and after everyone was done twirling, they'd go there for drinks. Well, all the older fire 12s, we should say. So.
240 volts. That's what about you, Taylor?
I'm a tiger.
Tigray.
Tigray, yeah. Let's see.
You fall in the sort of where
I'm.
what is it? The week where there's like the white tiger or whatever.
I thought they were like the elements, though, like the wood and fire.
There is that, but I thought there was also like for certain animals. Maybe it's certain years or something with the moon goes a certain way, and it's like, okay, you're actually a white tiger, not just a tiger.
Oh, well, I'm pretty
No,
Casper-like, so maybe. But because I don't know really the basic characteristics for it, so I'm looking at it now. Yeah, that's right. I'm checking the internet now for this.
That's fine.
Let's see. It says here, hard interiority that holds up a wall to the outside world. Check. Incredibly strong, double check, and stable, check. However, they are sometimes hold too much inside and can find it difficult to let their stress out. Big fucking check. They tend to act without warning. That's circles.
Booger bombs.
Booger bombs. Moving from one area to another in an attempt to either distract themselves or seek new experiences. I'd go with that, yeah. More often than not, however, this is an exciting occurrence and something that their friends and family look forward to. I would say probably not. They'd probably rather not have me do that sort of thing, but let's see.
Taylor's on the prowl.
Row.
Watch out, cougars. Mr. Astrolog just said, I'm a cougar.
The cougar and tiger. Yow.
Ooh, little rumble in the jungle.
What is that? Jethro Tull there?
That's Bungle in the jungle.
Bungle in the jungle. Thank you. Okay.
Rumble in the jungle was
That's Muhammad Ali's and Frazier's fight or something?
Yes, I think. Was that after the Thrill in Manila? I forget. Or is that the same fight?
I'm not sure. I'm not a big boxing person, so I'm not quite sure. Let's see. Within the tiger lies so much more than a strong defense. There's a love adventure that guides their more personal interactions. Same sort of, kind of. I mean, it could be such a shot in the dark. A shart in the dark.
Booger bombs and sharks in the dark.
So,
how do you go from this superstitions to this?
This is all because of me. That's all my fault.
You're a damn tiger. They're always on the prowl.
Meow. Let's see. Evidently, I'm good with the ox. We's brosifs, evidently.
Yeah.
Dragons and snakes, bad with rats, monkeys, and roosters. So I don't like cocks.
But you like snakes.
But I like snakes.
You don't know.
Take that as you will.
You can slither, you can't crow.
Yeah. I guess it's just a kind of, I don't know. It's kind of a branch of it. I thought. So, I'll switch it back to it unless you guys have something else to add.
Well, I actually looked up a bit more because I only just looked up the broad definition one. Since you looked on the internet, that gave me free reign to do it as well. So I looked up a bit more. Some things are funny because they're true, sad and true. One of them is although it appears to be tranquil, in fact, oxens are ponderous but impulsive when angry.
Oh.
Moving on. Let's see. At home, the ox is a great guy to have around in business. The ox can succeed in the arts. Hopefully that will benefit me with my ventures, contracting business or an estate, thanks to their creative nature. Since the ox is intelligent and good with their hands, they can be a good surgeon as well, or good at video games.
Or a good lover.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
You know that
Good with the hands.
Hey,
Good surgeon.
You're talking to the
Surgeon of
breeding stud.
love.
You're talking to the breeding stud here, so.
Yeah, that's true. The breeding bison.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Disappointingly, oxen often find that those who are close to them fail to understand them. I can relate to that too. Nevertheless, they are patient, caring, and makes an oxen the best friend you can ever have. Cool.
There you go. Hit us up.
Nice.
For Greg there.
Nice.
So let me see which ones I don't get. Let's see, comparability ox. Okay. You said tigers and all
Doesn't
that.
have that on there. That's because it's the internet. They're all.
It's different.
Lying.
It's completely different. It says here they're like the most compatible with a rat, and I'm just like, what? And then rooster, and no, that says here tigers are 33. So like I said, it's all bullshit. Because Taylor says, oh no, we're best mates, and then it says here that we're not. So it's like, yeah, no, it's all BS.
Pretty much. But I guess.
But it's funny. It's fun.
It is. It's interesting to see, but it's so disingenuous. I'll say it.
Oh, yeah.
And if somebody's gonna come after me for it, I don't know. Yeah, it's not. I'm not slandering anybody. I'm slandering zodiac signs. Well, it just
make a profession out of it. So.
Well, yeah. It just feels so disingenuous. It feels like something to try to get people to kind of find guidance, which I guess in a way it's not a bad thing in that regard, because because some people just kind of meander and are kind of lost, and this helps them kind of funnel in their energies into something, which I mean that's a good thing.
Yeah.
They're funneling their energies, they're focusing on something, but it just sometimes people get so wrapped up into it that they just kind of let themselves be guided by that sort of thing, and which I mean that can be the same with superstitions, that they can become so OCD about, oh my god, I gotta do this, that they just kind of crumple into this little tiny misshapen figure and just kind of get shoved along.
Can't get out of bed today kind of thing,
Can't
which
get
is,
out of
is a
bed.
horrible lifestyle, right?
Right.
If you hear those stories of people that are just pretty much shaken to the core that they can't even get out of bed if the wind blows in wrong from the window or something, and that's a terrifying thought.
Yeah.
I just think it's a terrifying sound, because I've had my sister and my brother's kids, and one of them was terrified, and it wasn't just superstitions. The wind, when you when you shut your window and if you leave like the most minute gap and the wind tries to get through, it just releases that banshee like noise.
The
Some people don't like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of an unnerving sound. It's not the greatest thing to hear.
Not that pleasant.
Yeah, it's not like I'm like,
it-
sweet, yeah.
Me being, did film course, it's like, oh shit, Foley work. I want to record that so I could use that.
The one really common one that we never really touched on, and there's probably a lot more, is the hold your breath when passing a graveyard kind of thing. I don't know if did you ever?
Yeah,
really have...
vaguely I remember that one coming up, but not in a long time.
Okay, well, yeah, it was like a kid, and I lived in a smaller town as a kid, and there was a graveyard just right. I want to say the graveyard was no more than 3 blocks from where I lived. This thing was a big graveyard, kind of creepy, but and so we'd pass it all the time, kind of thing, and it was kind of hear that, oh, hold your breath, because if you don't, you breathe in the demons, you breathe in those spirits, kind of thing. And you're like, why do you tell children that? How fucking just like creepy is that?
Scare the pants off.
Yeah, don't breathe, or you might breathe in spirit's head.
Don't breathe.
It's like, the fuck is wrong with you? Kind of thing. It's just, it's so,
Yeah, I vaguely remember that one, Taylor, but I moved kind of like I actually lived a block from a graveyard, like a fairly big one, and it was off of the freeway. We lived sort of near the freeway in this like suburb area. I don't know. I think because we didn't have a car, it didn't really register. I think that sort of died out when I was young. Somebody had mentioned it, and then I thought about it, but then over time it just didn't matter because I used to walk by this graveyard all the time. And like without any problems, I used to just walk by it all the time to go to a comic book store, go wherever, walk to school kind of thing. But there were some times, I remember, I presume that these were, there was a few times where I think that there were like people in there just messing around because I walked by there at night a few times. And it's a dark street, like there's houses right next to the graveyard, like just regular houses, but the lighting is not very good. It's not a very common street to be used for driving. And, you'd hear people in there, obviously, I presume, just teenagers like messing around and stuff. But that was pretty unnerving. Or they had like a little facility shed like right in the middle where, the workers would go in and do work on cut the grass, tools, all kinds of stuff, right? I don't know. They could have been doing cremations and stuff in there. I don't really know if it was that kind of place. I don't think so. But so there was still like some unnerving things about there. And I actually walked through there once, and seeing some of the tombs and stuff was interesting. But the breathing thing, I kind of forgot about. There's some other things about graveyards that aren't coming to mind, though. What are
like stepping on one? I think
stepping on one was definitely
that's just rude, man. That's
definitely
just
rude.
Yeah.
But I think there was some sort of connotation of that, right? Like that will wake the dead or something.
Right, and they'll be pretty pissed because you're like, hey, dude, I'm kind of stuck here for the rest of eternity, and you're fucking stepping on it.
That's like
Yeah.
that's John Smith 1482. That other zombie's like, I mistake. It like walks away.
Oh.
Not sort of related to the graveyard and the whole saying garlic ward off vampires. If that is the truth, then I never have to worry about vampires ever.
Are you about to come out as a garlic being, Greg?
Oh yeah.
Is that what you're now admitting to the internet? Is that you are a garlic humanoid created by the Australian government?
At one with the internet.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what the experiment is? Just eat garlic bread.
But I
just like,
thought you.
Okay, no, okay, will do.
But I don't know. Like, is that really anything that went with the whole vampire thing? Was
The garlic?
yeah.
It's so elaborate. We go into the back into Middle East, Europe and all that with Vlad the Impaler and just all the superstitions and tall tales surrounding him. And I think he was such a horrific motherfucker that people made up stories about him. Yeah.
Well, I'm just curious to see where like the whole garlic thing comes in because I'm not sure if that's like ever comes up in like the Bram Stoker novel at all or because the Bram Stoker Dracula is very different than the Dracula we have nowadays, kind of thing from what I recall. So.
Or just vampires in general. Right?
Well, right, they're not sparkly. For starters.
Thank goodness.
I mean, you have Bram Stoker's. He's what? He's 500 years old at that point or something. I don't know. I want to read that book again. But
isn't he sort of more like a gentleman caller kind of thing? Not quite as demonic, I thought, as he's been made out to be over time.
Yeah,
I thought
it's been forever since I've read it. Unfortunately,
I could be wrong, but that's kind of like the zombie thing, like that superstition from ye old times with the Black Death and stuff, and
zombies and Black Death.
Well, the idea was when they were trying to bury all of these bodies, there was just so many bodies that would be in these giant mass graves that sometimes they would come out of the ground, like
from
air being compressed in the body and like pressing on the soil and pushing them out of the soil and stuff. And maybe the limbs might move and stuff as a result. And so the grave diggers were thinking that this was the Walking Dead. They were coming back to life. And that sort of superstition, which has evolved into just like being a horror cliche now. But that's an interesting one.
Oh man, because you have that with
just to think they're still probably infected with what have you, and these bodies are coming out of the ground and.
Oh man, that's
you shot Zombie Flanders. He was a zombie.
Gross. Oh man, yeah. Just kind of think about that. It was like, I think it was also something back in those kind of older days that if you were out when the moon was out, you would be inhaling like crazy gas or something. Or well, like
that's awesome.
Like when the moon.
Uncle
was out,
Jem's going crazy.
Like, the moon would
just
possess you, kind of thing. Like it was
you just brought up a really good one, and I study it because I think it's somewhat true or just coincidence. People say, oh, it's a full moon, and they expect people's to go crazy or just to change.
Right.
Maybe it's just more potent for Australians because people I know, they'll just have a complete 180 personality change during a full moon. And I'll just be like, where the fuck did that come from? And then I'll check up the sky. I just look up the sky. It's like, oh, it's a full moon. Shit.
That is a common saying too, right?
Right.
With the full moon and the creatures of the night are coming out.
Well, that's because they could.
What a horrible night fuck.
They can finally see at night, kind of thing. You get the full moon; it's bright as day, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So it's always really kind of if you're not if you're like out in the country or something, and
That's twice as creepy.
oh, it's not I love it.
Well, it's nice,
It's
but it's also
great. Like
freaking creepy in the forest.
no, it's not. Oh, it's awesome when you walking through a forest or woods and stuff. When it's like that, it's almost it's serene, but also kind of surreal in the same hand because you're so used to just being in a city or something. It's such a very different kind of thing.
I'm more used to being out in an open field or something and being able to just look at pretty much all the stars and seeing shooting stars and even seeing planets and stuff. But
Right.
not quite as comfortable being out in the bush. Probably just because I'm more afraid of wild animals and stuff coming out. And,
Yeah, you can't get mauled by a bear or something. Not a good
Right.
way to go.
not really. Well, there's worse ways to go, but a bear would be still kind of cool. But
Bear, I'd prefer to go to my sleep.
I'd take a bear over a hillbilly shotgun or something.
That'd be quick, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, my property.
There's a full moon tonight.
Oh, they're bringing the star.
Oh, you know which one we didn't bring up too was crossing your fingers. There's like the two sort of connotations. The one with behind the back, telling a lie kind of thing,
Right.
or for good luck. And correct me if I'm wrong. It's the sign of the cross essentially?
I have no idea.
I thought I read somewhere that it's like it's supposed to mean like the sign of the cross, which is with the two fingers, and that's supposed to bring protection or luck.
What?
But then you've got the saying of the people that lie crisscross their fingers as well.
Mhm.
You know.
Well, that's
Like,
because
they
they
say
put it behind their back.
Right.
Yeah, put it behind their back.
This is not showing it, I guess. I don't know. I didn't. Sure the hell doesn't look like a cross to me. Doing it now, don't.
No, I
see
think
it.
if you turn your head a certain way, the way you cross your finger, if you cross it as best
Do you have
as
to like
can,
cross your eyes too while you're doing it or something?
No, you kind of have to bend your middle finger, and it sort of makes the shape of a cross, right? As best as you can with two fingers, unless you just completely disjoint it and you scream out loud because it's. But that's different. But I think it was just the symbolization of it. Obviously, you can't make a perfect cross with two
Well,
fingers.
right, but I don't even really see cross with that. I never heard that
No, I
one.
could be wrong. I thought I read that was what it was supposed to be.
The one that also I kind of remember is one about not taking brooms with you when you move.
Yeah, I heard about this one. Is this one really from Europe, or is this more?
Because I'll bring it up a little bit. I won't go into too much detail, but I did for the company. Even though I work at the public schools, I am hired through a private company to do work for teaching the English kind of thing, and we have this thing where we make these kind of mini lessons that they're like a page that for kind of like little kind of culture points or certain kind of words escape me now, but certain kinds of vocabulary, idioms, and things like that. And one of them I did was like for old wives' tales and stuff, and that was one that came up was don't be bringing brooms with you when you move because you're bringing all the bad shit with you. Just leave it there. It's been sweeping your floors.
Yeah.
It's that. But I don't know if it originated in Europe or what. But I know it was something that they did in the States. I think.
Yeah, it was one I was going to bring up, but it's a competition. It's the one I found. It was chasing people away from broom is bad luck.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
Like bad luck for who? The one who just got chased out, or the one doing the chasing?
The one doing the chasing.
What about rolling pins? You ever seen that, like those old cartoons where somebody chased over the rolling pin,
There's no bad
frying
luck.
pan?
There's no bad luck that just shows you people are psychotic.
You're going to be a shit cook for the next 17 years or something?
You hit someone with a broom.
No one can stand your cooking?
Hit someone with a broom, it's just like, ow. Hit someone with a rolling pin, yeah, not good.
But you can do some massive damage with a broom. I mean,
Yeah.
Well, depending on how you're using the broom. If you
well,
just,
yeah,
Well,
if you're thrusting in somebody's face with one, you're going to do some damage.
I don't think they're going to use it like a damn spear. Usually people are probably just going to swing it like a bat kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably, but
So, but yeah, the broom one that kind of came up was kind of that, or the white nicks on your fingernails being lies, but that's wives' tales thing. It's not superstition. So, I think we've buried this one. Unless you guys have more that you would like to.
Nah,
No,
I'm pretty good.
it was just there, Mr. Sushi B.
yeah, I'm good.
Good, and good. So yeah, if any of you listen out there have some interesting or kind of quirky, I don't mean to say it like that. I guess interesting or just different. I don't mean it to be denigrating it, but if you do have some like interesting or very different kind of superstitions that you know of that we totally whiffed on, or even ones that were common, like Jesus Christ, how could you miss this one, kind of thing, definitely let us know. I mean, yeah, I kind of laugh at them. Again, the acorn one, that is a very out of the blue one kind of thing.
Well,
but
I will say this now. Every working electrician in the world needs to carry an acorn now. They'll be fine.
so yeah, see how that works for people. See if electrocution deaths go down to 0 with that. Just everybody wear like an acorn pendant. So,
Acorn pendant.
so, but yeah, but definitely let us know, kind of thing, and yeah, thanks for listening. Dunno. Yeah, so thanks for listening, guys, and have a good day.